It's easy to understand why John Friend highly recommends the book Yoga Body, The Origins of Modern Posture Yoga for all sincere students of yoga, because Mark Singleton's thesis is a well-researched exposé of how modern Hatha Yoga, or posture practice, as he terms it, has changed within and after the practice left India. But the book is mainly about how yoga transformed in India itself in the last 150 years. How yoga's main, modern proponents T. Krishnamacharya and his students, K. Patabi Joys and B.K.S. Iyengar, mixed their homegrown Hatha yoga practices with European gymnastics. This emphasis is in itself a worthy enterprise for students of everything yoga, to comprehend and accept that your yoga may not be the same kind of yoga as my yoga. Simply, that there are many paths of yoga. In that regard, John Friend is absolutely right. This is by far the most comprehensive study of the culture and history of the influential yoga lineage that runs from T. Krishnamacharya's humid and hot palace studio in Mysore to Bikram's artificially heated studio in Hollywood. Singleton's study on postural yoga makes up the bulk of the book. But he also devotes some pages to outline the history of traditional yoga, from Patanjali to the Shaiva Tantrics who, based on much earlier yoga traditions, compiled the Hatha Yoga tradition in the Middle Ages and penned the famous yoga textbooks the Hatha Yoga Pradipika and the Garanda Samhita. This kind of ranking, thinks Singleton, is counterproductive and a waste of time. Georg Feuerstein disagrees. Undoubtedly the most prolific and well-respected yoga scholar outside India today, he is one of those traditionalists who holds yoga to be an integral practice, a body, mind, spirit practice. So how does Feuerstein's integral yoga homonym differ from the non-integral modern posture yoga homonym presented to us by Singleton? Simply put, Feuerstein's remarkable writings on yoga have focused on the holistic practice of yoga. On the whole shebang of practices that traditional yoga developed over the past 5,000 plus years: asana, pranayama, breathing exercises, chakra, subtle energy centers, kundalini, spiritual energy, bandhas, advanced body locks, mantras, mudras, hand gestures, etc. Singleton writes, for some, such as best-selling yoga scholar Georg Feuerstein, the modern fascination with postural yoga can only be a perversion of the authentic yoga and tradition. Then Singleton quotes Feuerstein, who writes that when yoga reached Western shores it was gradually stripped of its spiritual orientation and remodeled into fitness training. Singleton then correctly points out that yoga had already started this fitness change in India. He also correctly points out that fitness yoga is not opposed to any spiritual enterprise of yoga. But that is not exactly Feuerstein's point. He simply points out how the physical exercise part of modern yoga lacks a deep, spiritual orientation, and that is a crucial difference. Then Singleton exclaims that Feuerstein's assertions misses the deeply spiritual orientation of some modern bodybuilding and women's fitness training in the harmony